Best college hoops on this Saturday brings us to downtown Milwaukee. The Xavier Musketeers in town to take on the 7th-ranked Marquette Golden Eagles in front of a packed house. 18,000 on hand at Fiserv Forum. Welcome courtside, everybody. Glad to be with you. Brandon Gautin and Robbie Hummel on hand. These two teams met in December. It was a great game in Cincinnati. Marquette outlasting Xavier 72-70. So Marquette still perfect in Big East play 6-0. But Robbie, Xavier starting to find their footing. Big win Tuesday against Villanova. And in that game, their leading scorer, Ryan Conwell, he was phenomenal.
Yeah, Ryan Conwell starting to break out of that shooting slump he was in. Career high 34 points in the Nova game. Knocked down 6 triples. I mentioned the game back in December. Conwell went for a season-low 7 against these very Marquette Golden Eagles. But this is a guy that's finding his offense, finding his jumper. Last 2 games, 56% from the field, 47% from 3, and he's taken 21 free throws in that stretch. Ryan Conwell, a dude that can score the ball and starting to find a rhythm here.
Yeah, he could score it at Indiana State. Now he's scoring into the Big East for the Xavier Musketeers, and he is in the starting lineup, so they are brought to you by Jeep. There is only one. See the note at the bottom. Zach Freemantle, senior leader for Xavier. When these two teams met in December, he did not play, so that's a big addition today for Sean Miller's crew. And for Marquette, you can't talk about the Golden Eagles without mentioning Cam Jones, averaging just under 20 points and almost 7 assists a game. Shaka Smart, over 350 career wins for Shaka between his stops at VCU, Texas, and now here at Marquette. And he's got his team off to a fantastic 15-2 start this year. And on the other sideline, Sean Miller, 3rd year in his 2nd stint at Xavier. And talking with him before the game, Rob, you could feel he senses maybe they're turning a corner.
Yeah, certainly getting Zach Freemantle healthy. They did not have him in the loss against Marquette back in December. That's helped things. But they're a team that's still trying to figure things out. You think about how much new there is, whether that's Marcus Foster, Ryan Conwell, John Hughley, the injury to Lucina Traore. There's been a lot of new faces and a lot of turnover. So maybe starting to turn this corner. We'll see today. Hostile environment here in Milwaukee.
Boy, it is. What an atmosphere. A sellout of 18,000 here at Fiserv Forum for this Big East clash. Inside there is Freemantle right to the rim for 2.
A terrific slip there by Zach Freemantle. He's screening for Ryan Conwell. Just slips that thing right to the rim.
Inside Mitchell off the mark, and it's Freemantle with a rebound. Again, Zach Freemantle missed that first game, was out with a knee injury, but since he's been back, he has been providing a lot to this offense.
Pretty impressive after missing a couple games. He still comes back last 4 games, 17 points a game.
And he's a big piece to the puzzle. Marcus Foster missing from outside. All right, style-wise, we can expect a lot of tempo in this game, right?
You know, in the first meeting, Marquette did a great job of keeping Xavier out of transition. Only 6 fast break points, so certainly going to be important to do that. But the Golden Eagles turn you over. They're going to look to push as well.
Mitchell, one of those guys who can push it. Has it rejected out of bounds. And we go back to that Freemantle slam.
You can see just the attention being paid to Ryan Conwell here. This ball gets swung. Freemantle going to screen, and he just slips right by. Ben Gold gets caught looking at Conwell. Freemantle takes it to the rim.
Here is Cam Jones, almost 20 points a game, almost 7 assists a game, and he gives it up. Gold from downtown. Oh, missed everything. He had a great game against DePaul earlier this week, but off the mark there.
Tied a career high with those 4 triples early in the first half. Gave this Marquette offense some real juice. And even looking Big East play, 46% from 3. It's surprising to see him miss that wide right.
Musketeers with those last 2 wins now 3 and 4 in Big East play, trying to climb their way up the standings. Here's Davion McKnight. Conwell rejected. Chase Ross, the junior from Dallas, coast to coast.
Well, that's the reason you see right there, Brandon, why Chase Ross 3rd in this league in fast break points per game. A little bit behind on the chase, but stays in the play, makes a great effort, and gets out in transition.
Boy, between Ross and Stevie Mitchell, it is such an unbelievable defensive dynamic with those guys out there. Swain gives it up. Here is Conwell, the leading scorer for the Musketeers. Down the lane with the right hand.
But Freemantle kind of posting Ben Gold there just seals the way. Conwell very good at the rim, getting into the painted area, and Freemantle making sure it's uncontested.
Cam Jones hounded, gives it up to Mitchell. Mitchell getting to the rim, but he cannot finish it.
Good contest there by Jalen Swain, moving his feet, contesting at the rim.
And Swain now on the other end. Hangs but cannot finish.
That was the story for Swain in the first meeting. Went 3 of 10 against the Marquette defense here and missed a bunch of shots at the rim. Has to go up strong.
One thing both coaches, well, Swain here getting his hand in the passing lane. But another thing both coaches mentioned, Rob, was rebounding will be something to watch in this one.
And Marquette not a team that crushes you on the offensive glass, but certainly with Stevie Mitchell out there and some of their size and athleticism, Xavier Stoles on the defensive glass. Got to check out.
There is a strong rebound by Foster. Yeah, Xavier is bottom of the league in both offensive and defensive rebounding, and Marquette not a great rebounding team either.
How funny to talk about Marquette's offensive rebounding prowess with Stevie Mitchell, the 6'2 guard, but he's 9th in the league in offensive rebounds per game, and all 8 guys ahead of him are 6'8 or bigger.
It says a lot about number 4 and 1. Good pass inside. Swain off the window.
Jalen Swain is a terrific cutter off the basketball. That double comes over to Fremantle. Swain working the baseline. Well done by Xavier in the half court.
Sophomore from Columbus, Ohio, gives the Musketeers a 6-2 lead. Downtown, Joplin, he can light it up. Gold taps it out.
Good screen there on Conwell. Gold really finding a body.
Cam Jones taken away. Good defense by Foster. Xavier with numbers. And Fremantle fouled. And that'll be the first on Stevie Mitchell.
Really good decision there by Marcus Foster. He looked off that defender there. Looked like he was taken to the right side, but he felt Fremantle running the floor. No look pass, and Xavier getting out early in this game, finding a fast break opportunity, something they didn't do back in December.
Yeah, that game in December at the Cintas Center, Marquette had a comfortable lead, but then Xavier made a big push in the second half. Actually took the lead late, but Marquette was able to hold on for the victory.
Something to watch for in this game, Brandon, is that both these teams, Marquette and Xavier, have been prone to go on big runs, but they've also been susceptible to give them up. Marquette in that game giving up an 18-2 run, which actually saw Xavier take the lead, like you said. Xavier had opportunities late, some turnovers, certainly a controversial call at the end of the game. It was a heck of a last 6 minutes.
With the style that these two teams play, they can be prone to some of those runs. Joplin! That is a tough finish for the senior from right here in Milwaukee, David Joplin.
Well, some action early in the open floor here. Chase Ross doing Chase Ross things, just running off this screen, getting a piece of it, getting out in the open floor, and using that athleticism to score it at the rim. David Joplin coming off that explosive game. He's got 4 games of 27 points or more, getting to the rim, taking some contact. We got a good one here in Milwaukee this afternoon.
Their largest lead of the afternoon.
Xavier's got to find the middle of this zone. And you get a wide open shot.
Maybe this will help him. Hunter!
Xavier right back in this thing.
This run continues. Conwell, did he get tripped? No whistle. They said play on. The horn sounds.
Oh, that's a foul, man.
That was back in December. Marquette getting that 2-point win. So they are the only perfect team right now in the Big East. You may have seen the first game here on Fox today. UConn fell to Creighton, so things kind of tightening at the top. But Marquette a perfect 6-0, trying to get to 7-0 today. And it showed you that second half run in that first meeting that Xavier had to come back on Marquette. And like you said, Rob, for both of these teams, what this means is runs of 10 points or more. Both of these teams have had a lot of them, and they've allowed quite a few of them.
Well, it certainly means that you can push the lead out, but the opponent is never out of the game. And I think the meeting back in December showed that perfectly. Xavier seemed dead in the water, and then all of a sudden, they were right back in it, had opportunities late. Marquette able to pull it out. You're right. The top of this league is starting to tighten up here, and we're going to have some real drama over the last 2 months of the season.
What a gigantic win for Creighton at Connecticut.
Getting the third score there with the Pop Isaacs injury, it's a game changer. Jemiah Neal playing great and having a big one today.
Here early at Xavier by a pair. Almost stolen up top by Joplin. Over the top to Fremantle. He gathers and kicks it out. McKnight in rhythm. Front iron.
Those are the shots that Sean Miller wants Davion McKnight to be aggressive with. Good kick out there, gets an open look. Xavier will take that.
And Xavier, when they shoot him, they can hit him. They're over 39% from long range as a team. This guy can certainly fill it up. Cam Jones, not only a conference but a National Player of the Year candidate. Chase Ross with a bad miss.
Xavier going to give up some pick and pops. They're showing two bodies at Cam Jones, trying to limit his effectiveness. He's such an elite playmaker. It's going to be on some other guys to make some shots and make some plays.
Again over the top. And Fremantle gets to that right hand and puts it home.
Good high-low right there. Fremantle doing his work early, pushing his defender up the lane. That's a tough pass by Jerome Hunter, but they complete it, and Fremantle finds a way to get to his right hook.
Fremantle, the Jersey native, now in his 6th year in college due to all the injuries that he's had to battle through.
Good rotation there by Davion McKnight being there on the catch.
And that forces a turnover by Norman, and now coast to coast. And McKnight will get himself to the foul line.
Davion McKnight as good as anybody in this conference at taking it 94 feet end to end. Here's that high-low I mentioned. Jerome Hunter, that is not an easy pass. Fremantle pushing Ross up the lane. Chase Ross does a pretty good job of still contesting this shot. But with Fremantle's size, he's going to be able to get that off. Nice job by Xavier of looking in and finding the mismatch.
No, Rob, I think with Zach Fremantle, when he went down earlier this year with a knee injury, everybody feared the worst because he's kind of been snake-bitten. He missed all of last year with a foot injury. 2 years ago, his season was cut short with a foot injury, but thankfully, Fremantle only missed 3 games.
Well, and I said this earlier, but amazing that in his 4 games back, it's just been business as usual. 17 points a game, 7 rebounds, 43% from the field. Actually shot it a little bit better from 3 in these 4. But he deserves to be healthy. He's just been through so much, and we talked a lot about it in the December game. Xavier as a program has just been snake-bitten by injuries.
Yeah, that has been the story. Messina Traore, one of their bigs that really could help them, out for the year. That was a big blow early for Sean Miller's crew.
Marquette's bench gave him 0 points in the game at DePaul. Some bench guys in the game now. We'll see if they can give Shaka Smart a little bit of juice here.
Continuing, though, to miss from long range in transition to the corner. Thought about it, did Maddox, but they'll reset.
I think Maddox, a guy that Sean Miller would like to get going. Last 4 games, only 2 points a game, struggling with that jumper.
Swain got around and laid it in.
And that's another good seal, this time by Jerome Hunter, just ducking in and clearing the way for Dalen Swain.
Is that drawn up, or are they just feeling that out?
It's just a feel thing. Now, Swain sees that coming, and it's just a duck in. Jerome Hunter doing a great job of finding a body.
Cam Jones can't get on track. Pretty good defense there by Fremantle. So not the start that 18,000 we're hoping for here in Milwaukee. Swain turns the corner. Kicks up top, Hunter. Blocked by Joplin, giving it up. Shot clock down to 5. Here's their go-to man, Ryan Conwell. Blocked! Good defense by Owens. Now Owens with it in transition. Owens gets it back and knocks it down.
That's exactly the type of contribution we were talking about, Brandon. Demarius Owens making a play one-on-one against Ryan Conwell. Doesn't take the initial shot, but that second dribble drive, he's open on the perimeter and he's letting it go.
So the freshman from Rochester, New York, makes the first 3 of the ball game for either team. Maddox bottled up, gives it up. Conwell against Ross, such a good defender, and he scores it over the top.
Chase Ross, you just tip your cap on that shot. Can't do anything better. Conwell with that step back, creating a little bit of space, but you'll live with that type of look.
And Conwell can fill it up, the Indianapolis native. Talked about his 34 points last time out. No whistle. They say that Jones just lost it going up. Immediate timeout. Xavier strong early, up 6.
A little bit of defense here from Marquette. Demarius Owens moving those feet, getting a hand on the basketball. Marquette again getting out in the open floor. The second drive by Joplin. Find the freshman. Demarius Owens giving Marquette a bench off the bench.
I came here tonight.
And Ryan Conwell, these count right here. Chase Ross can't do it any better. Just better offense. Conwell staying hot.
Xavier up 6 early over Shaka Smart's Golden Eagles. Let's go inside the huddle with Shaka.
Guys, probing too much, all right? Worry too much about the matchups. Play a highway, go fast. Understand who's guarding you, what he's going to do, okay? And then adjust accordingly. If he's in a hedge, slide out of it, twist it, okay? But it's too much probing. We got to get you downhill. We got downhill, kicked it, all right? Got downhill and won.
No doubt that Shaka Smart is looking for his team to get to the rim. Listen to that sound. And had to love what he saw in this transition possession. Multiple paint touches. You find Demarius Owens out there on the perimeter. But there's no doubt about it, Brandon. The Xavier offense has been much more aggressive at looking to get downhill into the paint. 8 of 14 Xavier points have come in that painted area. All 6 field goals have been 2s. And you look at Marquette's shot profile early, half their shots have come from 3.
Tell you the other thing, Rob, every time we do a Marquette game, we talk about turnovers. They force a lot, they don't turn it over much. There have been 3 turnovers in this game, all of them by Marquette. You don't see that very often.
A team that has dominated on the season turnover margin.
But so far, Xavier has withstood the early 8-minute test here in Milwaukee. McKnight spinning around on the baseline, keeps the dribble. Maddox, step back. A tough shot. They are going to get the foul against Joplin and send Dante Maddox to the line.
It's just a foul that David Joplin cannot commit. If you're guarding Dante Maddox, have to understand he's 2 of his last 11 from 3. Looks like he makes contact with that hand as Maddox is letting it go. Marquette took away the initial action. It's that dribble drive to the baseline, but it's a crackback for Conwell. They're looking behind. They took that away. You just can't take a foul like that. A silly foul by a guy that's played a lot of Big East basketball.
Puts Maddox at the line, 5th-year senior from Chicago. Grew up about 90 minutes from here. He is one of 7 portal additions for Sean Miller from last year. It's pretty much an entirely new team with a couple of exceptions. Because of the injuries we mentioned, took them a while to gel, but Xavier's starting to round into form, and now they've got an 8-point lead.
See if they can get Cam Jones going here. Try to get him to that left hand, get him something in the painted area.
He has not scored yet, just 1 shot for Jones.
Xavier crisp with their switches right now. These dribble drives, they're just switching them and taking them away.
Jones gives it up, top of the arc. Bank is open for the freshman Royce Parham.
What a boost that Demarius Owens and Royce Parham have come in here and given. Parham just 2 points the last 2 games. And a great 3-point shooter on the year, but Marquette will take it.
You said no bench points last game against DePaul, but a different story so far for the Golden Eagles today. McKnight driving on Parham, puts it over him too much.
Big fella moving his feet right there, containing the bounce and forcing a tough one from the mid-range.
Parham, good size, 6'8", 235. Joplin coming off that huge game, gives it up. Parham this time going to the rim and hit the underside of it. Now Xavier's got numbers. Parham late to get back. But a deflection by Mitchell.
Sloppy pass there by Ryan Conwell, but good transition defense by Marquette.
Almost gave it right back. Jones, good find, and what defense by McKnight. Just stripped it, finds his buddy Maddox, who knocks down the triple.
How about Dante Maddox? 2 of his last 11 from three, but Davion McKnight, an incredible defensive play, sets the table beautifully in transition.
He did it on both ends there, the Davion McKnight. And Foster thought he had a clean steal, but they're going to get him for his first foul.
Davion McKnight just flies into your screen, comes from out of nowhere. He's the weak side defender. That is all ball. Xavier wants to play fast. Top 10 nationally in fast break points per game. They find Dante Maddox. And Xavier playing at a high level on both ends right now.
And McKnight, he's playing motivated today. He was a great player at Western Kentucky for 3 years now in his second and final season at Xavier. On the inline, though, it was touched by Maddox, so it will stay with Marquette. But, boy, Robbie, the Golden Eagles just a little out of sorts right now.
And right there, that's a play. Dante Maddox does a great job of reading the eyes of Demarius Owens. If he doesn't get a hand on that, that's going to be a dunk at the rim. But because of the active hands, you save the day on that under out of bounds.
Owens again will trigger here. Ben Gold trying to drive it on Swain, cut off. And pass inside is taken away. Who else? It's McKnight.
McKnight is putting a clinic on off-the-ball defense, and then what a pass to Fremantle. But that's the second time today, Brandon, that we've seen him. He's that weak side low defender. He's seeing everything on the floor, and he's coming from that weak side and making plays on the ball.
Preseason second team all conference, and he's showing you why right now. Davion McKnight. That puts Fremantle at the line for two. But when Xavier had some of their struggles through December, Sean Miller several times got into the post-game press conference and said, I know because of the pieces we have, this team has potential. And you're kind of seeing in this first half, when they're clicking, they're really good.
No question. But they have dynamic guards. They've got a big in Zach Fremantle. When he's healthy, he's as good as anybody in this league. But you love the fact that Conwell, Davion McKnight, Marcus Foster, those guys can shoot the rock, and a couple of those guys can make plays off the bounce.
Miller's crew a 9-point lead. Joplin spinning up with a left, no good. McKnight again leads the charge. Maddox on the blow-by. Not enough English. But look who's there. Fremantle can't clean it up.
That's fortunate there. Another run out in the open floor. Second chance opportunity for Xavier. Now the Musketeers are just playing harder.
Cam Jones back on the floor. Still has not scored, and we've almost played 12 minutes. Trying to attack Fremantle. Gets by him. There's the first bucket for the senior Cam Jones.
Nice job. Good read there by Cam Jones. Seeing, all right, I got Zach Fremantle on me. I am getting to the rim here. Defense doesn't come over, and Cam Jones gets his easiest look of the day.
Second the conference in points per game is Jones. Behind Villanova's Eric Dixon. Swain by Jones, but he throws it away. Mitchell, who leads the conference in steals, trying to go coast to coast. Oh! Gold with a left! And that brings most of the 18,000 to their feet here at Fiserv Forum. Corner three, and that will sit him down. Marcus Foster.
That's a big answer right there by Foster. Hasn't shot it great these last 4 games, but it's a big one to quiet the crowd. Xavier moving the ball, and a good job by Dalen Swain of making that extra pass.
Mitchell gives it up. Chase Ross. Kicking. Joplin. 5 to shoot. Eyes his defender. Attacks. Got to put it up. Taken away. And a violation. We'll give it to Xavier when we get back.
Action-packed first half here. You don't assume anything's going down. Ben Gold staying in this play. What an effort to get a hand on that ball. The tip dunk goes home. Stevie Mitchell doing Stevie Mitchell things. But Ben Gold with the play. Marcus Foster on the answer. Action both ways. He got a good one here in Marquette. Don't go anywhere.
Xavier has led from the jump here this first half. Sean Miller's got to be happy. Let's listen into his huddle.
Okay, listen. Number one, the team that wins the most wars wins the game. We got the first three. Great job. Fellas, 17 deflections. I want you to keep that number in mind. 17 deflections, David. That's elite. You got to go. Our activity on and off the ball. Hit him with your chest. Deflections, toughness on the ball.
Yeah, a lot to like for Sean Miller so far.
Absolutely, and the Xavier defense has done the job on these Marquette guards. They've been physical, they've been together. The offense has certainly been flowing. But you look at this group, and 5 losses by 6 points or less since December 5th. The TCU game, Cincinnati, UConn, Marquette, Georgetown. They've been right there, but they're starting to play some of their best basketball of the season. And Sean Miller has got to be thrilled with the start they've had on both ends.
All those close losses, and that's why after the win Tuesday against Villanova that was close at the end, he said, I feel like we finally broke through. We won a close one, was proud of his guys, and it's carrying over right now today.
We heard Shaka Smart talk about how they needed to get downhill, but there haven't been driving lanes. Even when guys have beat their man, Xavier's done a great job of switching off the ball, taking away those dribble drives. Let's see if that can be sustained, because Marquette's got dynamic players. Cam Jones, David Joplin, Stevie Mitchell. These guys can get to the rim.
They've got older veteran players, all those guys, upperclassmen. Jones got his hand in there. And 3 go after. The tie-up will send it the other way to Marquette.
They're casual swinging the ball. Marquette is up their lines. They're taking away passes, and that's just a little bit of a sloppy play there on that ball reversal. But good job by Cam Jones of being in that passing lane.
Now, Rob mentioned the turnover margin. It is so rare for a team to lead their conference not only in turnovers, but turnovers forced. But Marquette does both. Good kick. Joplin. Got it.
That's a tough action right there. If you help from that strong side corner, it's going to be an open look. David Joplin coming off a game where he drilled 7 threes at DePaul.
Out of control is Fremantle. He lost it.
This is one way to get downhill. You hit ahead, you chase, you dribble handoff. That's maybe a bit overdone by Jerome Hunter. If you're going to stunt and get back, Joplin a very capable three-point shooter and an explosive scorer as well. 4 games with 27 points or more this year.
Yeah, that 30-point effort you mentioned Tuesday at DePaul. DePaul's zone, so Marquette had a lot of open looks. Ross lost it. Oh, over and back.
It's Ryan Conwell's pressure there. He didn't knock it away. It was just a lost ball by Chase Ross.
6 turnovers for Marquette. Uncharacteristic. They have the fewest turnovers per game, folks, not only in the conference, but in the nation at less than 9. Different story here in the first half. Working it around the arc, Swain. He'll line it up. Too much.
I don't like that shot by Dalen Swain. 3 of 10 from 3 on the year, and you can get a better look than that. If he's wide open, fine. But that's a contested one, I don't know about that.
Joplin. He's off the mark. Marquette has won the last 5 when these two have tangled. Xavier trying to stop that today. Good rebound by Joplin.
Good rotation to come over there. You had 2 on the ball, miscommunication in that handoff, and that held defense saves the day.
Caden Hamilton had it stripped. Big fella doesn't play much off the bench. And then Swain strips Ross. And Ross is in pain. Fremantle lays it in. Chase Ross, he already has his thumb taped on his left hand, and he is grabbing at that right now. Jones drives and scores.
He's so good at getting downhill to his left hand. And if he takes you right, he's spinning back to the left. You know it's coming, but it's really impossible to stop.
Keep your eye on number 2 and White with that injury. He's defending here.
Whistle. There's contact with the rim. Swain shot that.
Yeah, I'm with you. I thought they might have called basket interference. Not the case. Jones up top, gets it back. He'll let it fly. Gold, another swat out. Ross. Down the lane goes Joplin. No whistle.
Let him play.
John Gaffney, Jeff Clark, Nathan Farrell, the 3 officials. I think all in all, I'm okay with it. It hasn't been too egregious on either side, it doesn't seem. Foster got by Joplin and nobody's home.
Joplin just overplaying to the middle of the floor. Marcus Foster has had some struggles at the rim, but an uncontested one. Nice job handling that pressure. A pressure release for any team. If you're going to be pressured like that, take it to the rim.
Xavier has led from the start of this ball game. Jones stripped again.
Active in Xavier's hands, man. They've gotten their hands on a number of balls around the basket.
Hamilton backing his way down. Xavier wanted to travel, but no call. First bucket for Caden Hamilton.
Marquette's gotten some contributions off the bench. And Jones unusually quiet. Stevie Mitchell pretty quiet. It's been kind of their starters that have been a bit off in this first half.
Fremantle, he loves that little 6-7 foot hook.
And Caden Hamilton jumped to that low side, and that's just too easy right there for a guy like Zach Fremantle.
Fremantle top 10 of the conference, both in scoring and rebounding. That is how key he is. When he was out with the injury, missed big time. Jones can't get it from deep.
Cam Jones has really struggled from 3 in Big East play.
And what we said, 20%, right?
Yeah.
That is not like him. Sean Miller's going to go ahead and take a timeout here with 2:45 remaining, and his team up 7.
Well, the activity level of Xavier around the rim, just those active hands. Multiple times Marquette's thought they're going to get looks at the rim. Instead, it's a turnover. What a look by Swain up the floor. Zach Fremantle, easy one at the rim. Marcus Foster getting downhill. Xavier is a more aggressive team, living in the painted area. Sean Miller's got to be thrilled.
All right, Mike. Well, right now, another Mike DeCourcy has Marquette as a 2 seed, which they have been in the last 2 NCAA tournaments. Creighton, by the way, with their win today at UConn, this will change. And I know it's fun to talk about. We still have a couple months till the tournament, but the bottom line, Marquette right now 15-2, both quad 1 losses. Their resume is just superb.
No doubt. I mean, they did their work early. You think about some of their non-conference wins. You know, the Purdue one certainly stands out. Cam Jones going for a triple-double in that game. But Shaka Smart, the job that he's done with this program, I mean, every year they're going to be in the top 25. They're going to compete for Big East titles. He has certainly changed the narrative back to Marquette as one of the powers of the Big East.
On the other side, Xavier does not have a quad 1 win yet this year, so this would be huge if they could somehow get this done today. Off to a terrific start. Up 29-22. Here's McKnight. Well, he'll just step back and fire. My, look at the arc on that. And then putting it back in, John Hughley.
Well, Hughley just 10 points his last 4 games, only 6 minutes a game. He's kind of fallen out of the rotation with Fremantle back healthy. But those are the types of plays he's got to make. Effort plays on the offensive glass. You get a wild miss, and he takes advantage.
Just came off the bench for the first time. So the first time he touches the ball, he puts it in. And then Maddox strips it. And Maddox scores it.
But the way he was able to gather that ball, Parham gets back in the play and contests, and Maddox went right through him. Great anticipation on defense and great effort to finish that one home.
Largest lead for the Musketeers at 11. 3 on the way for Norman.
Not a good shot.
Offensive rebound, though, and Parham cleans up the mess.
The last 2 possessions, the best offense has just been wild misses from 3. Opportunistic on the offensive glass by both teams.
Certainly Shaka Smart, though, at half. You'd have to think he's maybe going to be a little boisterous in there with his guys. Conwell off the bounce to the corner. Catch and release. Short from Maddox. Rebounded Jones. So pretty quiet half for Cam Jones. 4 points, 2 of 5 from the floor. Jones looking to operate here. Attacks Hunter. Out to Gold. Gold almost had it taken away, but instead it's going to be a foul on Dante Maddox.
Dante Maddox, his anticipation, ends up tripping Ben Gold there, but on this one with Royce Parham, he's just sitting on that right-hand drive. And look at the power. I mean, he goes right through Parham, keeps his head to the rim. Impressive job by the smaller player. Dante Maddox 6'2", Royce Parham 6'8".
And with that great defense, 7 turnovers for Shaka Smart's crew here in this first half. Jones cut off, but he does find Joplin. And nothing dropping from Marquette.
Xavier helping from that strong side corner. There's going to be opportunities on dribble drives down the lane lines to kick that out. That's a great look for Joplin.
Marquette just over 30% from the field in this first half. McKnight on the drive. Hangs and finishes.
Man, Chase Ross came over and got a great contest there. You get that matchup, Davion McKnight. He sees Ben Gold and he's thinking, I'm getting to the rim.
Everybody from Xavier chipping in here the first 20 minutes.
They've taken this crowd out of the game.
18,000, and folks, it was amped in here before the ball game during the lineups. Final seconds. Jones, NBA range. No. Gold. He can't get it. And Xavier will take its largest lead into the lockers over number 7 Marquette.
That's the best I've seen Xavier guard all year long. The job on Cam Jones, the activity in that painted area, really well done. We'll see what adjustments Shaka Smart can make at halftime to jumpstart this offense.
And if they want to stay perfect in the Big East, they're going to need some adjustments. First half all about the Musketeers. Mike Hill, Seth Davis, Casey Jacobson for the Jeep halftime report after this timeout.
Got to be handy with the steal, if you know what I mean. Earn your keep.
Regulators! Bring a friend, join the crowd. Whoever wanna come along.
7th-ranked Marquette down 11 at intermission. Today's stat comparison powered by Jeep. There is only one. Everything really favoring Xavier. Only 3 turnovers. Marquette 7 turnovers. And they held Marquette 31% shooting from the floor. Fewest points in any half this season for Marquette. We'll see how Marquette adjusts in the second half. Brandon Gaudin, Robbie Hummel back with you here at Fiserv Forum. You know, you said it going to break. I think for Xavier, that's probably the best 20 minutes they played all season.
Well, and on the defensive end of the floor, the job they did on the Marquette starting 5, the activity level, the game plan, just the way they followed exactly what Sean Miller wanted to see. Just an incredible defensive effort here. And you look at the first meeting, Marquette had 44 points in the painted area. Today in the first half, only 14. Great attention to detail. Great job playing off the ball. Really a clinic defensively by Xavier in that first half.
And this is a Marquette team that relies on their starters about as much as any team in the country. But in that first half, you combine, these are the 5 starters, combined 6 for 25 and only 14 points.
Well, and going into this game all week, that what was talked about, especially post DePaul, was that the bench wasn't pulling its weight. But in this game, it's really been the starters. That had to be Cam Jones' lowest usage half of the season. Only 1 assist, 4 points, only 6 shot attempts. We'll see if they can get him going early.
Fremantle, well, the second half starts off just like the first with a Fremantle bucket at the rim.
Xavier is now 13 of 20 on 2s in this game.
And Fremantle's had quite a few of them. He has a dozen to lead all scorers.
Just slip right out of this and then take it to the rim. Zach Fremantle doing a great job, and those Xavier guards have found him. He's been active in this game, and he has been effective around the rim.
The biggest lead for Xavier here today, 13 points. Jones dumps it inside. Mitchell. Gold, quick release. Does not get the bounce. Not free, though. That was all effort by Mitchell. But he can't put it home.
Active an effort. That's like the prototypical Stevie Mitchell sequence. Get your big and open three, make an extra play, and man, he is everywhere on defense.
And he leads the conference in steals. Got another one there, and it leads to a Joplin bucket.
Stevie Mitchell 0 for 4 from the field in the first half, but he can affect the game in a number of ways. We're 54 seconds in, and just the activity, Stevie Mitchell making plays and creating opportunities for Marquette.
Now they blew the whistle because McKnight took a pop to the face, but he's okay and going to stay out there. But Stevie Mitchell, Shaka Smart praises him as much as any player he says that he's ever coached. He just calls him a flat-out winner.
He's the ultimate glue guy. Like if you look it up in the dictionary, it should be Stevie Mitchell is what every glue guy should aspire to be. Unbelievable activity as a defender. Has made himself into a capable three-point shooter, goes to the offensive glass, wins you games. That's exactly what Mitchell does.
He's defending Swain here. And Swain is able to draw the foul on Ben Gold.
Jalen Swain added 20 pounds in the offseason. He needs to do that again. He needs to put another 20 on. But him at the rim, so much potential, still can be better finishing through contact. If he develops a perimeter jump shot, man, he could be a really, really good player.
He's listed now at 220, long and wiry, but he arrived well under 200. And then last year he had an appendectomy.
Yeah. Lost
15 pounds. So it was just tough for him for a while to gain weight.
He's as good as anyone off the ball. As a cutter, he just finds open areas. Like his game alone.
He's able to connect at the line. And that lead right back to 13. Joplin trying to split the defenders. Too much off the window.
Marquette has been ice cold. Looked like Joplin maybe got fouled on that dribble drive initially, but anything at the rim, there's nothing doing there at the basket.
Speaking of fouls, there have not been many. There were 7 fouls between the two teams in the first half. Neither got in the bonus.
The matchup here. Tom, we're going to go inside.
Fremantle backing down Jones. Swain had it. And they're going to call that foul on Marquette. All effort there by Dalen Swain.
You don't see Marquette all that often get out-efforted, but in this game, they have. Credit to Xavier for coming out here on the road, taking the crowd out of the game, and just playing harder than their opponent.
Good
the second time we've seen Chase Ross close down a Ryan Conwell three.
And now Stevie Mitchell leading the break. Can they get this guy going? Cam Jones just 4 points. Has it knocked free and stolen. Marcus Foster gives it up to Swain.
How about Foster composing himself? He was almost falling down. Throws a dime to the rim. Dalen Swain on that lob finishes above the rim.
It is rare that you see Cam Jones flustered, but he looks it out there right now. Chase Ross forces the issue. He'll get to the line.
Job done on Cam Jones. Marcus Foster, great effort. He's stumbling here, just throws it right up. You let an athlete like Dalen Swain go get it.
It'll be Ross at the line. But, Robbie, look, Cam Jones is an All-American in every sense of the word. I said he's a National Player of the Year candidate, and he is. This is as flustered as I've seen him all year.
No question. 2 of 6 from the field, has 3 turnovers to only 1 assist. How about the fact that Marquette, with 8 turnovers already, is at their season average?
Yeah, it has been all Xavier from the get-go. And that is kind of how it's gone for Marquette. Ross misses both.
I think this is the way we thought Xavier would play coming into this season. Now, things have happened. You have injury. Trey Green is away from the team, so you deal with some stuff, the Traore injury. But this is the way I thought they would play.
They were picked third in the conference. Marquette was actually picked behind Xavier in fourth. What a cut. And Fremantle has 14.
You got McKnight operating on that baseline. You get the pass over the top, and then Fremantle just cutting it on a beeline to the rim. Xavier operating at such a high level. Right now, Marquette trying to find any answer for the Musketeers. There's the lob over the top. You got the collapse. Ben Gold gets lost. Zach Fremantle coming right into your living room downhill.
Days with rhymes displays that engrave deep as x-rays. I can take a phrase as well as heard. Flip, now it's a deadly word. I can get iller than normal, killing.
Our level of play is better than the record that we have. You know, we've proven we can play against the best teams in this country. The game of winning and losing, that's a different story. And it's up to me and our staff to make our level of play even better. And with that, eventually the wins will follow. That is a fact.
And the wins are starting to follow. Again, still no quad one victories. 0-6, big opportunity here, and up 17 against Marquette. But, Robbie, this is a program that has a lot of pride. Last year, first losing record since 1996. And Sean Miller, he hasn't had a losing record until last year in his 20 years in this business at the Division I level. So that you're turning a corner. You do have a tough schedule, but I think they probably look at these games as opportunities.
No, you have to. Because if you want to play in the NCAA tournament, you got to rack up quad one wins. Some missed opportunities in November and December for this group. But the fact that they broke through against Villanova, and it kind of took Ryan Conwell going nuclear to do it. But you come from behind, you beat a good team in your league, and now you're on the road, and you put yourself in a position to get on the board with a quad one win. Now, can they close it out? That's going to be the question.
Cam Jones forced the issue, and then it's knocked out by Gold. So another empty possession for Marquette. I mean, for this offense to have 26 points, they average 80.
And this is the best job I've seen on Cam Jones all season long. And it's not even close.
Comes in 18 points away from being a top 5 scorer in this program's history, but he has been held in check today. To shoot. Fremantle knocked out by Gold with 2 on the shot clock. Fremantle leads everybody. 14 points, 6 rebounds as well for the New Jersey native. Long three. Conwell off the heel. And a rebound down to Mitchell. He'll push. Euro step. Can't get it.
Head at the rim has just not been able to converge. That's a good push by Stevie Mitchell, but again, you come up empty.
And that is just careless. Foster. Credit, of course, the defense of Stevie Mitchell.
I don't know about careless. That's more of the presence there. You saw it in the DePaul game at the end where Stevie Mitchell able to force a big turnover, and that's just you're feeling the heat from one of the elite defensive players in college basketball.
The guy Shaka Smart called one of the best student athletes he's ever coached. He's also an academic All-American as Mitchell.
I wish the Big East had an all-defensive team. You know, just because there's other guys outside of Ryan Kalkbrenner has won that award 3 times, but there's other guys that are deserving of recognition. Well, the activity, Xavier's hands have been unbelievable today.
They're kind of out-Marquetting Marquette.
Yeah.
McKnight, good shot fake. Short from the elbow, but an offensive board by Swain. Conwell! Look at that activity. Foster flying through, but it was ultimately Joplin who will get it to Marquette when we get back to Fiserv Forum. The Musketeers looking for a big-time upset on a Saturday in Milwaukee. Folks, the families impacted by the California wildfires need your help. Visit go.fox/Red Cross, or you can scan the QR code there on the screen to support the efforts. Your donation enables the Red Cross to respond to and also help recover from this disaster. Fox has already donated over $1 million. And please donate if you can too. And many in our Fox family impacted directly that office out there in the Los Angeles area. You know, for those of us out east, you just don't think about these fires, but it has been absolute devastation, and certainly our continued thoughts go out to everybody out in Southern California. Xavier up 43-26. You keep waiting, Robbie, I think, for Marquette to turn the corner, but they have not been able to sustain anything here today.
Yeah, offensively, just 26 points. 15:28 to play. Cam Jones has still been cold. There's been a lid on the rim, especially on shots taken from inside the paint. Some of that has to do with Xavier's defense. Some of that is just Marquette missing some bunnies, but we're going to have to get it going in a hurry here.
They haven't scored in 4 minutes since early going into the second half. Mitchell will take a three, but that is off the mark. That was maybe forced a little bit.
We had a good look on it. That thing was right immediately. Stevie Mitchell running in there. Ben Gold has done a nice job on the offensive glass today. He's kept balls alive. He's got some tap backs, and there steals the possession for Marquette.
Jones gets it in to Gold, gets it back. Jones, corner three. He cannot get on track.
Xavier fortunate there. Even though Cam Jones has struggled in Big East play with his shot, it was a wide open look. How did Ben Gold not get back?
And how about McKnight from his seat, feeding it inside to Swain?
Ben Gold just doesn't jump on the ball, and Davion McKnight with as an impressive assist as you'll see all year long.
8-0 run. It's now a 19-point lead for the Musketeers. Mitchell in rhythm, can't hit it. Another tap out. Ross on the reload. Golly, they cannot buy a bucket. Taken away. But a whistle and a foul will keep it on this end.
That was a big call right there because it would have been a run out for Xavier. Marquette just getting open shot after open shot. McKnight goes down. Gold just whiffs on the ball. And then Davion McKnight fires a strike to Dalen Swain. What a pass and what composure from a guy that doesn't turn the ball over and is top 6 in assists in the Big East.
And he is a good one, is Davion McKnight. I mentioned the 3 years at Western Kentucky when he was all-conference, and now is all-conference in the Big East.
Switching by Xavier, for the most part today, has been flawless.
Jones, drive and kick, Gold. Yes! The lid off the bucket for the Golden Eagles.
Xavier has shown that they will help out of those corners. Cam Jones getting downhill. And Ben Gold coming off a game where he made 4 threes at DePaul. That's a big one.
Still a lot of work to do. Xavier's 16-point lead now. Pass a little high, but ultimately McKnight gets it.
That's a closeout from Stevie Mitchell. He was helping on Swain's cut and still got out to the perimeter.
Into the shot clock. Ryan Conwell, and Gold high to grab it.
This crowd, you can feel it. If Marquette can score, this building will get loud in a hurry.
And Jones fouled on his way to the basket.
Xavier has been willing to help out of strong side corners all afternoon. You can see how in Swain is. I think that has to come from all the points in the paint they gave up in the first meeting. You're playing the percentages. Marquette shoots a lot of threes, but they only shoot 32% from 3 on the year. 9th in the Big East, 218th in college basketball. So you're playing kind of some of those numbers, but you look at some of these guys, they are capable.
One of the capable shooters, Joplin, he'll drive it. Stops on a dive.
Let Fremantle fly by, and Joplin with some good patience there.
18,000, showing they've got a pulse. Open look, no, Foster fouled. Jones ran into him. Second foul on Cam Jones.
And the shot fake gets Cam Jones off his feet and then wipes him out.
Nobody on either side has more than 2 fouls. That's the good news. No foul trouble for Xavier or Marquette. mention this crowd, though. They're trying to get into it. Shaka Smart's teams here in his 4 years, 53-6.
Well, zone defense here. Marquette showed this look at Tad at DePaul. They've done this all season long, mixing some zone. Now they'll match up man-to-man.
Maddox. Shot clock expires. Maddox was in trouble, and it's a turnover.
The changeup just takes Xavier a little bit out of rhythm, but Dante Maddox has got to realize, all right, late shot clock situation, I've got to go make a play.
And for the first time today, you can sense the momentum starting to shift a little bit towards Marquette.
You knew they were going to make a run, because that's what this program is built off of, being resilient, playing with toughness. That certainly wasn't their toughest half of the season by any means. But you know Marquette's going to keep coming and keep bringing it.
Turnover, though, by Cam Jones, and a rare turnover by the senior.
That's a guy that never turns the ball over. For his usage, he has had an incredible assist-to-turnover ratio on the season. We did have Joplin slipping out there, but kind of hit him on the wrong shoulder, and it was going to be a tough catch, tough pass.
McKnight had a great first half for Xavier.
Xavier's spacing on this possession hasn't been great. A lot of bodies running into each other.
Back to McKnight. 7 to shoot. Swain spinning. Pivots. Up. No. Tapped out. Here comes Jones. 4 on 2. He'll stop. He'll pop. And into the corner and out of bounds.
Cam Jones, 1 of 10 from 3 in that DePaul game, and a lot of his misses were right-left, a lot like that one. He just is searching for his jumper for a guy that's been such a good shooter in his time and in the non-conference as well. Some of these misses aren't all that close.
It is surprising. He has hit 283s in his career, has Jones. He's 4 away from passing Travis Diener on the all-time Marquette list.
He's been a Xavier killer in his career. 2 games last year, averaged 30 and 5, had his career high 34 against these guys. Had 20 in the first meeting, but they made him inefficient. It's been a different story this afternoon.
You could tell pregame talking to Sean Miller was a point of emphasis. How about David Swain? He has played a big game today.
I want to see him attack the rim like that all the time with physicality.
Speaking of attacking the rim, David Joplin.
Off a made basket, Xavier just not getting back, not loading up, and David Joplin able to take advantage.
And the activity picking up on both ends. Swain has a dozen. Gives it up here to Foster. They'll reset with Davion McKnight. Shot clock again, dwindling. McKnight with the left. Tapped around, taken by Norman. Chase Ross will lead it. He'll stop on the wing. Norman didn't get much time in the first half. He's got the ball right now. Sophomore for Boston. Joplin thought about it. Norman, 5 to shoot. Hits the 3. Just his 4th of the season.
Marquette's bench has certainly brought it. A game after they were so heavily criticized against DePaul, they've given this team a spark here today.
10-2 run, crowd standing. Conwell, what a step back. He cannot connect, though. Jones slips it through. Ross fouled. He will go to the line. Timeout on the floor.
Well, the momentum here is shifting to the home team. Marquette making a run. Getting out in the open floor. David Joplin has been so effective all year. 54% on 2s on the season. How about Trey Norman? 7 points against Georgetown. Those are the only 7 the last 4, making a big 3 here.
Break it down for me, fellas.
10-2 run, starting to close the door, and that's despite Cam Jones still being a little off.
Yeah, Xavier has done a great job of just showing him body, showing physicality, been crisp in their switches, but other guys have stepped up. Certainly the bench has given Marquette a lift. Those driving kicks are going to be there. Ben Gold making a big one. David Joplin starting to get his offense going in the second half. Getting to the rim in the open floor. Marquette very capable. Big shot by Trey Norman. I mentioned he had 7 points against Georgetown. His only point scored in the last 4 games. Hasn't been a great three-point shooter on the year, but that was a big shot.
We've talked a lot about this crowd. When you get a packed house in here of 18,000 and you get them going, it is tough in this building. Marquette 10-0 here this year. 53-6 here over Shaka Smart's 4 seasons, and they're starting to get involved. Joplin sitting now, or rather Cam Jones sitting now. Joplin with a dozen to lead Marquette.
Heavy bench lineup in alongside Chase Ross and David Joplin. You got Parham, you got Trey Norman, and you got Demarius Owens on the floor. Shaka Smart trying to steal some rest for both Cam Jones, Stevie Mitchell, and Ben Gold. Can't imagine it will be long.
No. Quick breather, he'll be back out there. 1 of 2 for Ross, 10-point game. 3-quarter court pressure. Conlon just 4 points after 34 last time out of the win over Nova. He's got it down. In the lane, leaning, rejected by Parham.
Conwell got in the middle of that zone with the dribble drive. Great job by Parham of staying down and staying ready.
One of the young freshmen for Shaka Smart showing up. Now he's got it on the other end. Cut off by Hunter. Joplin from distance. Backed around. And off of Swain, they say. Marquette ball.
Winning play by Demarius Owens, flying in there. It looked like an easy defensive rebound for Dalen Swain. But just because Owens goes, it ends up being knocked off Xavier.
There's that man, the senior from Memphis is back, Cam Jones.
Ryan Conwell is going to be glad to be done with Marquette. It's been another rough afternoon for him.
And season low 7 points when they met in December, just 4 here. That's one of the reasons it's such a surprise. Xavier's up 10. But Marquette closing the door.
Oh, man, Davion McKnight just stayed in that play.
He has been spectacular on both ends. So has Swain. No whistle. Marquette ball.
Dalen Swain is so athletic. I wish he'd just go up on some of these and crack them. Just go up there and dunk it. And there was some contact there, but as athletic and long as Swain is, he's got to be more forceful going to the rim. It's a mindset to go, I'm dunking this thing. I'm not laying it up.
Like you at Purdue.
Okay.
Come on, Rob.
Yeah. 8 dunks in 5 years, sure.
That's a lot. Norman. Ooh, great look.
All the way, just not the finish.
I love that you know how many dunks you have. Lay it on the other side for Davion McKnight.
It's like you know how many Ferragamo ties you got.
A 0.
Yeah, okay. What are you wearing?
12-point lead. McKnight's big afternoon continues. Open look, Norman. In and out. And Fremantle secures it.
Clearly with his percentage, even though he's made one, Xavier's still going to let Trey Norman shoot him. What a push.
They just have not had an answer for McKnight. And Shaka Smart is going to take a timeout.
Well, Shaka Smart talked about it leading up to this game. There's nobody better in the Big East Conference than Davion McKnight at taking it 94 feet and pushing the tempo. If you don't stop the ball, that thing's coming right at you. Uncontested layup, and then right next play, he's getting downhill. You're getting all the way to the rim. Davion McKnight living in the paint.
Still trailing big, down 14. Shaka Smart took the timeout. Let's go in the huddle with the Marquette coach.
Man, when we stop them in transition, we're really guarding them guys. We can make them miss, but it comes down to guarding the ball.
in the first meeting, Marquette did such a good job of limiting Xavier's looks in the open floor. That has not been the case here this afternoon in Milwaukee. Xavier with 18 fast break points. They've been able to get whatever they've wanted, especially these last couple minutes with Davion McKnight just pushing that ball, and Marquette not doing a good enough job of slowing him down.
You know, you look at McKnight's line, Rob, 7 points, 5 assists, 3 steals, 4 rebounds. It's good, but his impact has been bigger than that.
No question. The defensive end of the floor, some of the early steals, the way he pushes it. But let's be honest, for Marquette, if Cam Jones is going to finish with 4 points, 2 assists, and 4 turnovers, they're not going to win this game.
6-0 in the Big East for the Golden Eagles. Only team that's undefeated left.
Double there by McKnight. Then you still get back out to Stevie Mitchell. Get that out of Cam Jones' hands.
Mitchell, and they're going to get the foul on McKnight, so Stevie Mitchell will have 2 at the line.
McKnight just doing a heck of an effort there to double on Cam Jones, get back to Stevie Mitchell, contain the bounce, and we'll see here if there's contact. I thought he got ball and then some wrist, but regardless, Stevie Mitchell earns a trip to the foul line.
Just the first foul on Davion McKnight, which is saying something with how hard and how well he has defended. And here is Stevie Mitchell, one of 3 senior starters, along with Jones and Joplin for Shaka Smart.
Well, I talked about Cam Jones' stat line, but really Marquette's not going to win if they're starters. I mean, their starters have been so productive all year long, and you've wanted more from the bench. This has been, a little bit upside down here, where the starters haven't gotten it done for this team.
Fremantle from downtown. Marquette clears with Mitchell. Jones sees a lane, then up top, Mitchell. Yes!
If you don't match up with Cam Jones early, he gets that dribble penetration. Now the help comes over, and Stevie Mitchell finally finds his first bucket of the day.
Gets it back down to 10 with 7.5 to go. Over the top, Fremantle beats 2 defenders.
Short-armed it.
Knocked out of bounds, and we go the other way.
That play designed to throw it inside to Fremantle. Everyone raised above that free throw line. They're trying to go inside. There's Xavier just not matching up. Cam Jones dribble drive. Stevie Mitchell, 40% from 3 on the year, although he has struggled here. 28% from 3 the last 6 games. That's a massive shot.
Now can they put a couple of buckets together, something that the Golden Eagles have really struggled to do today. Jones back to that same spot. Well, Mitchell might shoot it. Instead, he gets in the paint against Fremantle.
Fremantle moving his feet.
Into the shot clock. Joplin knows it, hoists it. Gold taps it out again.
And Gold has been a grown man on the offensive glass today.
Ross tries to save it, but he stepped out of bounds. Careless.
David Joplin, and right now, kind of really aggressively talking to his teammates. Cam Jones trying to calm him down. And Chase Ross with that slip, looks like that toe just crosses the line. You can see that there is Cam Jones just trying to get everybody on the same wavelength here.
Xavier has been disrupted from the get-go. They have led it the entire way, folks. Against the number 7 team in the country.
See, can they close out an opponent that's the caliber and quality of Marquette?
Front iron for Conwell. Offensive rebound, though, to Swain.
Those 2 Marquette defenders just running into each other.
Foster lines it up. Swain got his hand on it.
Xavier with some real opportunities they're not capitalizing on here.
Jones to Joplin. In and out. That would have taken it down to 7. And Joplin, who was so good last game against DePaul, is now 1 for 8 from long range. Conwell lost his shoe. He's trying to slip it back on, and he does. Fremantle into the corner. McKnight with 2 to shoot. Swain, did he get but they're going to review it. So count the bucket for the moment.
Boy, that was close. Davion McKnight operating on that baseline. Just running out of time here. See, does that red light go off before Dalen Swain gets it out of his hand? No, that's still in his hands. They're going to wave that off.
Previous plays being under review.
All right, so John Gaffney, lead official over there. He'll take a look along with Nathan Farrell.
And honestly, I like that he stopped play there. 5:30 to go. It wouldn't have been reviewed until the under 4 timeout if he let that go. But I think that's the right thing, to stop play, take a look, and get the right score.
He's been doing it a long time, the man on the right there, John Gaffney. But I'm with you. Clearly, it looked like that was no good, so that'll take it back down to a 10-point game. Watch the light on the backboard. Yeah, that's still in his hand. Well, Marquette has gotten it to 10 several times here in the second half, Robbie. They have not been able to get it down to single digits, but looks like they're going to have an opportunity here. I'm with you, though. If Cam Jones doesn't give you something on offense,
they're just not going to win.
I don't know how they're going to do it.
He has to be a guy that plays like an All-American these last 5:30.
No basket.
There's the official announcement. 51-41. This is a guy in Jones' third straight year that he has led Marquette in scoring. Even when they had Kolek and Iguodaro last year, two guys that are now in the NBA, he led them in scoring, and he's the go-to guy this year. But just 4 points today. Gives it up to Mitchell. Mitchell backs it out. Knocks it down. 7-point game.
That is a major league shot from Stevie Mitchell. Zach Fremantle playing off him. Mitchell stepping up and drilling it.
Almost stolen by Mitchell. Out of control, McKnight. He's going to draw the foul, though.
Boy, that was teetering on the verge of being out of control and being a turnover, but credit Davion McKnight for keeping the composure. Xavier wants to invert this matchup. They want Fremantle to guard Stevie Mitchell. In past years, Mitchell just a 26% shooter from 3. Different story. This year, still not the highest value guy. But Marquette making Xavier pay for putting Fremantle a big on Stevie Mitchell.
That's a personal 7-0 run for Mitchell until that free throw by Davion McKnight. Marquette trying to claw back in this game again on December 21st in Cincinnati when these two teams met. It was the reverse. It was Xavier who made a big second half run, but ultimately Marquette would win by 2. Now the Golden Eagles trying to do the same in reverse.
How about the fact that Xavier has this 9-point lead? 2 of 17 from 3, and Ryan Conwell not giving you much.
Yeah, you would not have thought that coming into this ballgame. Joplin, 2 defenders there. He still muscles it in.
Well, I would love to see a replay of that to see if Joplin kept that pivot foot down.
Thought he may have walked.
It looked like the happy feet there.
Oh, boy. Offensive foul. And Marquette will get it back. All right, Rob, we're going to get another peek at that.
Joplin trying to will his way into the lane here. Marcus Foster giving some resistance. Boy, that left foot looked like it drug as he was coming to that jump stop. Marcus Foster just rolling out Stevie Mitchell, and what do you know? Stevie Mitchell making another winning play.
He is all over the place. He and Joplin starting to come to life here, some of the seniors. Joplin, no tripped. Gets it to Jones. Oh, my! Timeout, Sean Miller. A 12-2 run for the Golden Eagles.
find his way eventually. Made a big one at the Paul, knocks a big one down here. We got ourselves a ball game. 3:56 to go.
Well, at the 14:56 mark, Xavier led by 19, but that has changed.
Well, Stevie Mitchell has made some massive plays on both ends of the floor. David Joplin has got to the rim. Cam Jones finally finding some offense with a big three there. And then their defense has got it done. Second half, Xavier, 30% from the field, 0 for 8 from 3. They've tightened the defense. That's given them a chance. And they've started to find some offense here after a tough first half for their starting five.
There's the run over the last 10-22 as Marquette tries to stay perfect in Big East play. 6-0 right now, ranked number 7 in the country. Xavier came in here with an upset mind, but lead is down to 4.
This has kind of been the story for both these teams. Go on big runs, give up big runs. And that's been the story today. Marquette throwing a haymaker right back. You knew that this team wasn't going to go anywhere, though. It's been what the program is built on, toughness, resiliency. That's been on display here in this second half.
Final 4 minutes.
Good slip by McKnight, but the pressure took that away. Fremantle never saw it.
Conwell in the lane, and he lays it up and in.
I loved that Ryan Conwell got to the rim. Not his afternoon shooting the basketball. Put it on the floor and make something happen.
Their leading scorer on the season, 6 here today. Mitchell, no answer. Gold tapped it out, but it's Foster that secures it.
Hustle by Marcus Foster. Ben Gold has been a problem on the offensive glass. Another tap back, but Foster winning that 50-50 play.
And Gold has a career high in rebounds. Question is, would it be in a losing effort for Marquette? Swain has it knocked free by Mitchell. What an animal Stevie Mitchell is. It's all effort. I mean,
it
look,
totally is.
He's talented, but there is so much effort from that kid.
He's one of those guys that you're like, he is getting every ounce out of his ability, and you have to love seeing that.
McKnight high off the glass. Joplin grabs it.
Good contest there to make Davion McKnight have to put just a little bit more air underneath that thing.
Inside of 3 minutes, Cam Jones. Across the court, Joplin thought about it. He'll penetrate. Off the window, yes.
That's a physical drive right there. Jalen Swain having to close out. It's just one-on-one. Help's not coming. David Joplin winning that individual battle.
He's got 14 to lead the Golden Eagles. Swain attacks, spins, does not get the roll, but a foul inside, and that's going to be on Marquette.
David Joplin off this closeout. Physical there, taking on contact, keeping his head right there to the rim, staying focused, finding a way to get that.
Foul on Mitchell, his second. Keep in mind, nobody is in foul trouble on either side right now. Nobody has more than 3. Wow, threading the needle. Foster counted. What a pass by Conwell.
They run a cross screen. Screen for the screener here. They're bringing Marcus Foster across. There you see it. Here's the screen on Joplin. Stevie Mitchell staying home and then just weight rooming his way through a physical defender. That's a big-time take, and Marcus Foster has really struggled from 2 on the year. You look at his numbers, just 38% on 2-point shots this season. That's a career low. All 4 prior seasons, he was above 50. But that's his biggest shot of his Xavier career.
One of those guys that's been around, a 6-year senior, knocks down the free throw. What a huge 3-point play for the Musketeers. About to hit the 2-minute mark. Joplin thought about it. Drives, splits, scores.
It's a masterclass on footwork right there by David Joplin, just slowing that thing down.
He had a career-high 30 earlier this week in Chicago. He's got 18 right now. This Joplin. Xavier still clinging to that 5-point lead. McKnight tries to spin. Mitchell knocked it free. Bodies hit the deck. And a timeout is going to be granted to Conwell and Xavier. Both teams laying it on the line here today in Milwaukee.
David Joplin just putting the brakes on here. Shot fake. Marcus Foster leaves his feet. That little step through in slow motion right there. That was nice. Let the defense kind of fly by, find a way to score at the rim. And Stevie Mitchell, man, if you spin, he is looking to take the rock from you. Really, the question will be, did a Marquette defender have a hand on this? Well, it looks like Dalen Swain kind of shielded it so that he could get that timeout.
So now each team one timeout remaining. And we are down to the final 128 of what has turned into a great game. If you're just joining us, Xavier led by 19. 5 minutes into this second half, but Marquette on a 6-game win streak has really closed that window.
Isn't it amazing, Brandon? Essentially, this second game has been what we saw in the first, except the teams and the roles have been reversed. When we were in Cincinnati, Marquette looked like they were going to coast to an easy win. Xavier made that run. It's been the same exact thing here, but the roles have been reversed.
A Xavier team that is desperate for a quad 1 win. They are 0-6 against quad 1 opponents this year. This would certainly be the banner win on their resume right now. What do you think for Marquette down the stretch Shaka Smart is trying to convey? Because you've got Cam Jones struggling. Joplin has 18. What's the message if you're Shaka Smart right now,
I think it's continue to get to the rim. You know, you're down 5, minute 28. David Joplin has made a living in this game of getting to the basket. If they help, you draw 2 and kick it. I think the pain is still their friend. Haven't shot it great from 3 today. Make something happen, and if it is going to be from 3, make sure it's inside out.
Meanwhile, Sean Miller, it's been a more balanced attack. 14 from Fremantle, 12 from Swain.
I think this has got to be Davion McKnight time. Hit somebody and hand it back.
Watch the shot clock here. 5 to shoot. It'll be Foster using that pivot foot. I thought they might call it travel, but Marquette gets it either way. 18,000, and they are mostly standing. And now it's a one-possession game. It's Jones at the rim.
There it is, getting to the basket. That strong left hand for Cam Jones. Well done.
Inside of a minute, it fights serve for him. McKnight has had a great game, gives it up. Conwell, Xavier's leading scorer, drives, can't get it to go. What a rebound by Swain. Just a huge board by the sophomore from Columbus. McKnight will reset, guarded by Mitchell, one of the best defenders in the country. It is. It's offensive on Fremantle.
Fremantle trying to flip this thing last minute, but you've got to make sure you come set. Stevie Mitchell so good. You see him still just kind of rolling out.
What a huge call with 31 seconds to go. Only a second between the shot and game clock here. Marquette has never led. Xavier's had to lead the entire ball game. Jones, this would tie it. Does not get the bounce. Tap back won't go. Xavier rebound, and now a foul on Joplin with 20.6 remaining.
They got Cam Jones. A terrific look on that right wing. That's who you want with the ball in their hands. You're all American here. There's the flare in. Cam Jones gets a look. Ben Gold flying in there. Marcus Foster comes down with it.
Shaka Smart was saying he felt Ben Gold got pushed.
Look at Davion McKnight there just shoving him. That totally should have been a foul.
Break for Xavier, and now it'll be Foster. 70% shooter who does not get to the line much with a 1-and-1. But the veteran, I mentioned a 6-year senior, cool as ice. 5 years he spent at Furman, redshirted, 4 on the floor, and now finishing his career in Cincinnati with Xavier. So that made it a 2-possession game. And he misses the second. Jones will push. They need something quickly. Cam Jones drives. Finger rolls it home. Timeout. Shaka Smart is going to use their final one here with inside of 13 seconds remaining.
Cam Jones finding some success here at the rim. The stop-start here is high level. He's got the defender Jerome Hunter off balance, and good timeout by Shaka Smart to set his defense here. That full court press is going to get turned up to 100.
Yeah, there's no question about that. And all in all, Xavier's done about as well as anybody this year against that pressure. But it's going to ratchet up here. 12.8 remaining.
10 turnovers for Xavier today. You will take that against Marquette.
Especially in this building.
Absolutely.
So Marquette, no timeout. Xavier does have one if they need it here. What's the key for Sean Miller?
Right now, you're talking about meeting your pass, passing and catching. You know, certainly going over how many timeouts you've got. Xavier with 1 remaining. So if you're getting a tough spot, you call it. But it's just all about fundamentals at this point. Marquette going for a steal. If you don't get it, you got to foul right away. But this is a play where these passes are as on the receiver as much as they are on the passer. You've got to meet your pass, you've got to be physical, and you've got to make yourself available. This is where, in situations like this, Brandon, you find out who really wants the ball and who really wants to go to the foul line.
Xavier last year, their first losing season since 1996. Why do I mention that? Because they lost to every ranked opponent they played last year. They've lost 14 straight to ranked opponents. They have a chance here to get a win on the road against the number 7 team in the country.
The good news for Xavier is that the 5 on the floor are all good free throw shooters. McKnight at 81, Foster at 70, Conwell 81, Swain 81, and Fremantle at 76.
It's not double bonus yet, so keep that in mind, too, if Xavier does go to the foul line.
That 1-and-1 brings another layer of pressure as a player. You feel that when you're at the line.
All right, Swain, who's had a magnificent game, will inbound it. They get it into Conwell. Trapped. Is that going to be a tie-up? Yes, it is. The arrow is pointing to Marquette. What a turn of events.
Well, Ryan Conwell bobbled that initially. And you put him in the coffin corner. Well, that is just a crazy turn of events here. Marquette's defense getting it done. And now an opportunity to tie or win this game.
Again, Marquette, no timeouts left. And they have trailed this entire game. They're down by 2 with a chance to tie or take the lead right here. Officials getting together talking about the inbound spot. That's what they're discussing. And it will be on the side. Well, is it Cam Jones time, Rob?
I think he certainly, you're going to lean on your All-American. But David Joplin's not a bad thought either, getting downhill and getting to the rim.
Joplin has 18. Jones is going to come to get it. Here we go, folks. Game on the line. Pass deflected. Mitchell gets it. 2 seconds. He lost it. And the game is over. And Xavier with a stunner in Milwaukee over 7th-ranked Marquette. Cincinnati in December, and Xavier returns the favor here in January.
Cam Jones, just an off game all game long here. This pass gets deflected. It's one of those scramble situations. Stevie Mitchell trying to get to the basket. Dalen Swain, active hands. We saw it all afternoon. Xavier does just enough here, and they get their first quad 1 win of the year.
a gigantic win. Xavier is turning a corner, folks. They've won 3 in a row. And Marquette, their Big East record no longer unblemished. 6-1 now in Big East play. This game and the one in Cincinnati, though, the finishes eerily similar.
No question. It's like we watched the same game.
First win here since December of 2017 for Xavier. Folks, thanks for spending your Saturday with us. What a game here in Milwaukee. For Robbie Hummel, for our entire crew, Joe Williams, our producer, Tyler Dare, our director, and everybody else who brought you this broadcast, I'm Brandon Gaud signing off. Xavier, huge win on the road, 59-57.